All right, we got time for one more then. This question says, what are the four differences in prayers found in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1?
1 Timothy chapter 2. I exhort, therefore, first of all, that supplications are where you're coming and asking God for specific needs. And that's what the word is talking about. It's the idea that I have a need in my life and I want God to fulfill that need, which answers the question, are you allowed to pray for yourself? Yes, absolutely. And so when you're thinking of prayer, you need to be thinking of what would happen if your kid came and talked to you and asked you for something. Are you all offended if they ask you for something? And the answer is no, because you love your kid and you want to do good things for him. And so God's the same way. And so I can do supplications. The word for prayer there is a word that just means prayer in general. And so that's the idea of talking to God. I think that a lot of times we miss the point of prayer in the sense that we're not thinking of having a conversation with him. When I pray, I have supplications. I have things that I'm praying for myself, and praying for my church and for people who are around me and that kind of stuff. But then there's the stuff where I'm just sitting down talking with the Lord, and I may be reading through a passage and I'm just going, Lord, that's really awesome. I've never seen that before. Hey, can you make me like this? Or I'm dealing with some issue like that kind of thing, or just talking to God about how good He's been, or just being thankful, or that kind of stuff. Having a conversation with the Lord. And so that would include prayers there. Intercessions is obviously praying for somebody else, and so a lot of my time in prayer is spent praying for other people. And so I like the order that he gives there. Supplications. I think that he did this for a purpose. That when Paul wrote this down, well, Holy Spirit through Paul, when he wrote this down, I think he did it for a purpose. And he put supplications first because lots of people have problems praying for themselves. And then he talks about prayer in general. I like that whole idea because that's just having a conversation with God, and lots of people don't do that. And then he puts intercessions third. And so the thing that most people think that you should do if you're going to pray is you need to be praying for other people, not for yourself, and that kind of thing. And he puts that third. And it needs to be done. I need to be praying for others, and so that's where you bring in your friends and family and people in ministry and missionaries and all those guys. Intercessions, and then giving of thanks be made for all men. I think giving of thanks is one of those things that well, I guess I do that. It's not something that I pay attention to all the time, but a lot of times somebody will come in and I'll have a conversation with them, and we'll have a good time, and they're walking out the door, and as they're walking out the door, I'm just praying in my head, going, "Thanks God for that guy. He's awesome," and that kind of thing. And so I think that Christians should be doing a lot more of that. Sometimes you're dealing with people that you don't really want to be thankful for, and at that point, a lot of times, actually, I'm kind of a thankful guy. I'm always thanking God for the stuff that He does for me, because everything that I've got here is just gravy. He's just really nice to me, and even when it's not going well, it's better than what I had in the world. And so for some people, when I start getting an attitude towards them, and like, this guy's a punk, and he really torques my gourd or whatever, I'll go to the Lord and I'll go, that's what I'll do. That's what I'm praying. Just kind of praying. I'm not interceding for the guy. I'm just praying and going, God, this guy makes me mad, and you need to do something about my heart here. And a lot of times I'll start thanking God for the fact that He's using the guy in my life to tune me up, or to keep my head straight. I can tell where my heart's at by how I react to people who are punks. And when all I do is get offended, and all I do is get mad, and all I do, it's an issue with my heart. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the punks too. And so so giving thanks for all men can go in all kinds of directions.
Good word. Good word.